Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we're going to work on a necklace, 3-strand necklace, using our Thunderhorse Descendant Found Objects challenge bag for October. I got 2 bags, and each of them had some pearls in it. One had some rhinestone chain, and one had some other pretty little beads. So we're going to combine these things and make a triple strand bracelet. So let's turn down and we'll get started with that. So we have our pieces here in our bag. I'll take those out. And our rhinestone chain we got, I was considering it's cup chain, and I was considering cutting it apart and using it, but then I noticed that the ends had welded on loops already. And I thought, well, there's no sense in wasting a welded on loop, so we will just use this as our middle strand of our necklace. I'm straightening these loops a little bit. They're a little bit pushed behind. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this as one layer, and we're going to hook it to these rings for our layers. And then I've got some bone soft flex, and we're going to make a pattern from all these pretty beads. And what I'm going to do is we're going to do 3 of the yellow colored ones, 2 of these little, one here, and then one of the white ones in between, and then we'll do a pattern like this all the way around on both strands. Now I'm going to get out some silver bead caps, which will cap each end of the yellows and then the whole of the white one. And we're going to do 2 strands of this, a smaller strand to go in the middle between the cup chain on here, and then another one here for on the outside of the cup chain. So this is more or less just a straight stringing job, but I will get the I think we're going to start on the inside with, I'm just going to string right on the spool. Now I put a bead stopper down here so they don't sink into the spool as I'm working. And we're going to start with one of these little guys here on this side in the inner one. Let me get those bead caps though. Our bead caps, and I put them in a pile here. They look like little flowers. One, 2, and 3 of the yellow, and then a bead cap for this end side. So that is how our pattern is going to go. And we're just going to keep going down the line like that until we get it long enough to fit inside of the cup chain nicely. And when we have that done, we will hook it to the ring. We should hook the others to the ring, the cup chain to the ring right now. We'll just do that with a jump ring. So 1, 2, and 3, and our bead cap. Now you'll find that glass pearls frequently shed the end die. You can see a lot of them are here. And that's, I don't know why they do that, but a lot of them do. One of the reasons why I like to use a bead cap on them, because then you don't see that shed spot too much. It's white we need right now. Or actually, I guess it's a little cream color. The other are yellow. Okay, we've got this much done. Right now I'm going to stop and I'm going to separate my beads out so I can get them more easily. I have my beads more or less divided up here so that they're easier to open or get to. And I'm going to take, I got a couple of jump rings out to jump ring the cup chain to the rings so that we'd have the length down. So we'll just hook that baby up there. Make sure that's closed all the way. Looks like it might be open just a hair's breadth, so I'm gonna put my pliers in and see if I can't get them a little bit better. So in order to do that, just take your pliers like you would normally and just wiggle them back and forth till you feel them scrape together, which it just did. So there is the cup chain on one side. And we'll put the cup chain onto the other side now. And as I say, it is going to be the first of the rows, but it's actually going to be the middle one. It's finished as soon as I get this on the other side, but we still need to put the other two sides on. So let's get this out of the way right here while we get our cup chain attached to that other ring. So just open it up with a twisting motion, grab hold of the ring, and just twist it back into shape. And this one was nice and tight right from the get-go. Well, I see it's slightly sideways to the other side though. So we want that nice and straight. Okay. I'm going to slide this around so that the jump ring is to the back. Now the cup chain is on the rings. We're going to put it slightly aside. I mean, not that it's going to go very far, but we don't want it getting in our way as we're working on stringing our beads here. And there goes one on the floor. I'm very good at that. So let's go back to stringing beads, and The same pattern we have been using. I am probably going to fast forward this since it's just bead stringing. Now let's see where this one is sitting in comparison to our cup chain. So it's this length, and our cup chain is quite a bit longer yet. We still want at least an inch or two. So back to beading again, since we are not close enough to stop yet. Okay, we're going to stop again for a minute and measure to our cup chain. Now we want it to be about 2 inches different so that it has some draping room. And I think we may be really close, but I'm not sure if we want to give it a little bit more or not. Let's see how much that is that's off by. Well, it's off by 2 inches, so that should actually do it. Let's see what it looks like when we drape it. Thinking we may want about 1 more turn of beads. So we're going to need to give us some more room over here. Because we're almost out of room over here. Let's see what that does when we put in another turn of beads here. Oops, wrong way. We'll see how close these are going to drape together here. Okay. Uh-oh, now I think they may be too close. I'm not sure. We'll have to because this is going to be here, and this will be this is too low here, so we have to raise it so that we're at the right spot. Yeah, that one may be too close. So I'm thinking it will be. But just to know for sure, I am going to hook the one side in, and then we will cut the wire and decide where we're sitting at here. I think as I have it now, we may be right on top of the other one. Because they're looking about even with that top. See where it's at the top cup chain? Well, that's not the top one. It's a little bit off, but that's the top cup chain right here. And then we'll slide down here. But the top cup chain is only 2 up here on this side, so I don't think that we can do that. So we'll probably have to take off this turn, but we'll see as soon as we hook these beads up together. I've got a couple of crimp tubes out, and we're going to crimp this one side over here onto our chain or our link, and then we're going to compare these a little better to see how much room we're going to need over here. Now I like to go through a bead, but this little guy over here doesn't seem to want to take a bead, so we're just gonna pull the wire up to about where we want it. I think right here, because we want to let it have some movement. And then I'm going to crimp this bead, or tube as the case may be. It's a tube because the magical crimpers will not take a bead. It needs to have a tube. Okay. Now we'll cut this extra wire off here. Make sure it's still nice and sturdy, which it is. And then we're going to move our beads down this way and unhook this from here. Put our bead stopper back on and cut our wire right here. And now we'll see how this fits better. It's twisted, so we have to get it untwisted here. Okay. Now see, as I pull it up, the beads are now hitting the chain down here. And so that won't work. Now, when I do it this way, we have extra room, but this is the way they drape, not straight. So Now we're too close. So we are going to take off this bit right here. We'll put on our crimp tube, pull it through, making sure we get it the right way here. So we don't want to be backwards. Let's put this back on for a second while I get that situated. Okay, this is upper. Okay. Okay, so it needs to go through this way. We'll pull it through the crimp tube. And now we'll see how it, I'll hold that and see how it drapes. Now that drapes much better. So that's where we're going to leave it at. And we're going to crimp this one off. So we'll get our beads in place. Swoop it around a little bit so it's not too tight. Compare our loop. So this one needs to be a teeny bit tighter on this side. Oops, that's too much. So we'll feed this back a little bit more. Okay. I think we could use a little more space, but we're not bad right now. So let's crimp that. Go around and around and around until it's good and tight. Give it a tug. It seems to be fine. So we'll cut this extra wire off. Tug again, and we're good. So here is our first two strands all set up. Turn over cup chain like you're supposed to. So now we have to work on our outside strand, which will be, okay, we're a little twisted here somehow, but we can get that fixed. I guess we got it backwards here. Ah, well. Come on, you. Okay. Now we need to start our second, or our third as the case may be, but our second bead strand. And we're going to start it with the yellow at the top as opposed to the these ones here. So we will put our strand here beside, get some more wire, and start stringing our third strand. We want to get, I didn't measure that, did I? Let's measure this strand and see how long it ended up being. We will, of course, want to be longer for the next one, but it's 12 to this bead. So it's 16 inches. So we'll probably want 20 inches of the, for the second, or the third, as it should be, strand here. I'm just gonna, again, work off the spool. Exactly the same way as I did before, except for, like I say, we're going to start with the yellow beads this time as opposed to the little druzy style and white one. But the pattern is going to be the same, just backwards. Well, not backwards, but opposite starting and ending point. Now I'm going to put a bead stopper on here while I get some more bead caps out, since I have ran out. And now we'll start right back up again. Let's see where we are as far as length now. It's pretty good length. But is it long enough? That is the question. And I think we're close. Okay, now we don't care about the lower one. I mean, well, we do, but it's not what we're measuring to. We want to be approximately 2 inches longer than this one. This bead is trying to fall out, I just noticed, so we have to fix its prongs. That should do. Okay, get you guys back over there. So now we are measuring our strand to a rhinestone strand. And we wanted at least 2 inches, and it's not, of extra, so we need one more turn, it looks like. So we will have to get a couple more of these little guys out. And Okay, so I got a couple more of the little beads out, so let's get this turn in place. And then we will remeasure it. Make sure we don't need another turn yet. But I'm pretty sure we're going to be right there with this turn. Okay, here we go. And so we will bring this back over here. And compare our cup chain to it. There at the beginning. Bring it down. No, we don't want to lose that. Keep coming. And there is our cup chain ending right here. And we've got about, it looks like that 2 inches that I wanted there. Actually, it looks like it might even be 2.5. So let's try holding her up together. See how she is draping that way. And I think it'll be good. Looks like it's going to be pretty good up drape there. So let's get this first side hooked on. I'm going to have to go get some more crimp beads. So now we'll get this one side hooked to the ring. We want it to go on the other side of our cup chain. So get our crimp tube out, put it through. And we'll push that up till it's about the same spot as the one over here on the other side. That looks pretty good. So we'll crimp that. Looks like it needs to come down just a hair's breadth to be the same. Looks pretty good. So we'll crimp this. Oh, it slipped. So we need to move it up a little more again. That's good, I think. Okay, tug test. Cut this down. Now I'm not going to cut this one all the way down because hopefully this glass pearl will go onto here. If not, then we will then turn around and cut it down. Okie dokie. that all down to there. We'll put the bead stopper down there and cut a little bit of this wire off about right here. Now I'm going to put this back in the spool before it gets messed up. Put that aside. Now what we need to do is, I'm going to put this crimp tube on here, clamp it back down again. Now I need to shake this down and make sure I have this going the right way. When we come down here to crimp it on. So here we go. And we'll go through here. And we'll crimp this through here. And see if we can get this through these two again. That went through quite easily this time, so we need to pull this up. About the right size right there. So let's get that just a teeny bit tightened. Not too much, just a little bit. And then we're going to crimp this right here. And then trim off this extra little bit. Uh-oh, what did we do here? This should be in the center, not in the one side. So, but it's, how did we get it to do that? Because it's like, oh, I see. We just flipped this one just a little bit. There we go. Now we're in the right spot. Well, I thought we were. Strange. It looks like I may have got this twisted. So if we did, I will just take the cup chain off since it is on a jump ring. And we will just move it over. So let's check that again, and if it is in the wrong spot, we can easily move it. Okay. And now it seems to be fine. So let's hold it up and see if it is. Yeah, it is. And its drape is going just fine. So I like that, just dandy. So the next, let's get our extra things put away here so they're not getting in our way. And then we'll put some chain up the back to finish this off. Okay, here's how we're going to drape here. But I have noticed that I left a gap on either side here on this lower one. See, this one is even quite a large gap. So I'm going to get some crimp covers, and I'm going to fill those holes in with the crimp covers. So we'll do that in a moment. And I'm also going to get some chain out. I have some nice silver chain here. And we're going to decide on our final length, and this will go up the back with a magnetic clasp up at the very top. This is going to be very pretty, isn't it? So just a moment, and I will get my crimp covers out. I'm not exactly sure where I have them hiding yet, so I'm going to have to look for those, and I will be right back. Okay, I've got a couple of crimp covers. These are relatively large crimp covers, so they might be big enough that they can actually go over the crimp and hide our gap. But then again, we may want to just put them down below our crimp to fill in that space. And I think we will. So I will just put this one on this side. Just put it over the wires like so and crimp it. And just close it like so. And then we'll roll this extra space to over here. So we have the gap over on this side that we need to fill in. Put our cover right there, both between our spacer and our crimp. Come on, baby, go in. And then close it. Okie dokie. Now, as you can see, it now looks just like it has an extra little ball on that side to close up the extra space. And there she is. Now, like I say, we want to see how long we want to make this, and then we'll get some chain out in that length, cut it in half, put it on either side, and then I'll probably use a magnetic clasp to finish it off. So this inner one is about 16 inches. Now, if we were to put it right here at 16 inches, we're going to end up with a choker. So I'm going to want that at about the shoulders right here where it hits. So I will measure around to see how long that is from shoulder to shoulder, and we'll add that much chain. Looks like I want about 12 inches of chain. So we will cut 12 inches of chain here. Well, and then we'll cut it in half, so it's 6 inches on either side. Okay, there we go, about right here. take our heavier clippers and cut this chain. And now we will cut it in half again. And to do this, I'm going to hook it on to my bead reamer on both sides. Let it hang down, and then we'll cut the middle out of this. Which looks to be about right. I think we may be losing 2 links for the middle here, because I think they were even from the looks of it. Well, maybe not. We may be just perfect. We're just perfect. That's excellent. So now we need to get some jump rings, and we'll jump ring the chain onto either side of our links, and then we'll get a magnetic clasp and chain and hook it onto this as well. So we'll need 4 jump rings. And we'll simply leave it laying like this so we have it the right way as we work on it. Open this up, put it on here, get 1 link, slide it over. Now if you have trouble doing this, put the chain on first. Sometimes that's easier. See how that went so much simpler? And then tighten up your jump ring. This chain is on. Now for the other side. Come on, chain, go on here. There we go. And then we will slip this on here. Oops. I don't think I have this open quite enough. It's giving me a few headaches. So let's open it just a touch more. Put the chain on again. And then put the link in. Then we close it. Whoop, slide. Okay, this is wanting to give me a few little problems, so let's get that tightened up a little more. Pull the chain through, and now we have the chain on both sides. And I will get us a magnetic clasp for, that's a cut link. And I have dropped one of my, there it is, up in between. So we need to get a magnetic clasp and put on here, and then our necklace will be done. So let me go get a magnetic clasp, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we are with our magnetic clasp. We'll put this on to the end of our chains, and our necklace will be done. So just open our jump ring up like normal. Boy, I've done that twice today now. Just grab one end of the chain, put her on, put our clasp in, and then carefully bring her back together. Now, because I bent this wrong a little bit, I'm going to have to make sure that these two join together here. It looks like they are. There we go. We want to make sure our jump rings are working all right, because this is a very strong little clasp and it has to be working good or you'll just pull it apart. There we go. Now the second. It definitely likes the chain, this clasp. And there we go. Our necklace is done. Isn't that pretty? I really like those bead combos. So let's turn up and we will look at it again up above. Okie dokie. Here we are with our necklace. Isn't that pretty? Got this a little twisted on this side, but that's all right, we got it. So there we go. There's our necklace. Using the objects from our found object challenge from Thunderhorse Descendant. And yeah, it's sitting right where I want it. So that's good. So the strands are a wee bit twisted here. There we go. Got them fixed. See if we can stand up so you can see how it sits here. There we go. Come over here, you. So it could be a little shorter. It wouldn't hurt it any. But there, if you pull it up some. But I've got the longer length going. So there we go with our necklace, with our pearls and our cup chain, from our found objects challenge box. When you're hanging it just like this, the cup chain likes to roll into the middle and go a little longer, but that's all right. There we go. So this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and I have been using pieces from my Found Objects kit to make this beautiful pearl and cup chain necklace. I hope you enjoyed making that with me, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.